her destiny has been set basically since she was 12 because she's so pretty. Also, it's really important to me that you know that I feel like I've stepped inside a Studio Ghibli film. It's like, it's decidedly not interesting, which I've only just now noticed that this book cover has a little kid's face like superimposed on that ship. Good morning. So I'm not in my house. We are on a hiking trip. We rented an Airbnb with some cousins and are doing some hiking in the mountains. So so last week I skipped the vlog because I was doing a bunch of pre-filming so that I can still have videos going up while I'm away. So I skipped the vlog. So this week I'll start this vlog by giving you just a quick what I read last week. So last week I finished Spy Family. I'll keep this spoiler free because I have a video coming out giving my thoughts on Spy Family, the series. So just super quick thoughts, spoiler free thoughts here. I love this series. It's so charming. It's so much fun. Every time I felt like the jokes or the scenarios were starting to get stale, the slice of life feel was starting to feel a little bit tired, something thrilling would happen. And the action scenes are so fun. And these last few chapters that we have gotten where the family has gone on vacation have been my favorite chapters of the series, probably since the very beginning. Just the change in setting, the ridiculous shenanigans we're up to while we're on this trip, and you know, it being very Yor-centric with her work coming into a big play, but then also the few chapters that we got that were very Lloyd-centric that highlighted his past. Oh my goodness. And of course Anya is a delight in every single chapter. It's just these last chapters have been 10 out of 10 every time. I love them. So I'm caught up on Spy Family, having the best time. I'm now week to week, although I think it's bi-weekly. So I'll be reading that, and we discuss it loads over on my Patreon. So, you know, every time there's a new chapter, we'll continue discussing it there. And then I probably won't make another Spy Family video for a long time, but I do have a video coming out soon with my thoughts on the series as a whole because I'm having a blast with it. I also finished the book Beneath the Dragon Eye Moons. I have such mixed feelings about this book because I have very real issues with it, yet it's so fun. So like the writing I really struggle with. I feel like it reads like someone who hasn't quite honed their craft yet. And so there's like a lot of repeated phrases and repeated information and just the writing, the way sentences are structured. And I know a lot of people wouldn't be fussed about that, but I am. The way sentences are structured, sometimes I'm like, it doesn't work that way. So I'm like, I love beautiful prose, and so really clunky prose just I struggle with, and that was a big struggle that kept pulling me out of the story. It's a very, you know, we follow a young protagonist. She's 8 at the beginning of the book, and we do age up with her some throughout the book, but it is very like young, quirky kid. It's hard to write a kid well, and I don't always love the main character's voice in this. And also there are some world building elements that I feel are very sloppy and inconsistent, which would draw me out of the world every single time. One of those inconsistencies, it's like, this is such a prevalent part of your world building, but then over here it doesn't matter at all. Really struggled with that. All that said, I love the plot of this book. I think it's so fun. I love the way magic is done in this story. This is the story I talked about a couple weeks ago where it begins with our protagonist. She died when she was 28, and then a god in the universe decided to reincarnate her in this other world. So it's like it's a portal world. So she's in a new world, and in this world it's just a natural part of their society that it's very stats based. So it's a lit RPG book, but they're not in a video game, they're in another world. And so when she's 8 is when they have this, it's when their stats begin. And so, you know, if she runs, then she gets running points, and she can level up in these things, which unlocks opportunities, and she gets to choose a class. And then from there, like, there's a lot of deciding. And I feel like the way this stats-based magic in this world, the stats-based life it's integrated in such a, I think this is the one place where the writing thrives, because it feels so seamless, it feels so natural, it feels so organic, and it's very, very immersive. And the way she chooses her class, and the way she deliberates, and even just the scenes where she's literally just sitting down reading books about the different classes, and we're learning, and this is a world building element that's phenomenally done, where we're learning about all the different options she could take, all the different paths she could take, and all the different paths that are not available to her because of choices that she's made in which thing she's going to use, because she only has so many why can't I think of the word? She only has so many things that she can, so like for instance, she has knife skills, and so when an opportunity comes to have a healing skill, she might dump her knife skill in order to start building up a different skill. So the skills that she chooses to level up in, and the ones that she chooses not to focus on, affect which different classes she can choose later on. And it's just like, I love it. I love that element of it. I love watching her level up and what different opportunities that then offers her. I love that we're following a healer. We're not following some really, really strong character in a physical sense, but we're following someone who's really strong in healing, and her different ways of how she navigates life and how she interacts with people based off of that. It's just, I have such mixed feelings about this book, because in so many technical ways it drives me crazy, but then as far as the story itself goes, I've already downloaded book 2. I may not read it immediately, but I will continue on with the series, because I do really, really like the story, despite all of my nitpicks. Anyway, there's an update on Spy Family and on Beneath the Dragoneye Moons. I love, love, love Spy Family. I really did enjoy Beneath the Dragoneye Moons, despite my complaints about it. So I did bring some books on this trip, of course, so I'm excited to get started on some of those, and I will update you on that stuff later. I'm also continuing Hunter x Hunter, don't worry. I'm not sure how much Malazan I'm going to be reading in this vlog, because I'm feeling a different vibe as we're, you know, going up on mountains, and it's like very peaceful and nature centered, and I'm not sure I want torture. I'm not sure I want pain. So we'll see. We'll see how I may shelf Malazan for this trip and then get back to it after it. So we'll play that one by ear, but welcome to the vlog. Same location. I'll try to find a better location for the next vlog clip, but it's hard to know where to go. Sorry if you hear my kids playing in the background, but you know, they're around. So I have started The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea, and I'm obsessed with it. I'm only 55 pages in, but it's amazing. So the basic setup, I don't remember what folk tale this is based off of. I'll either put it on the screen or I won't, out of laziness, but it's based off of a really old folk tale. And so there's this, the world is made up of just millions of minor gods, like the god who lives in the well in their village, or the god of this patch of forest, or the god of these flowers. And like nature is protected and taken care of by all these minor gods. But the biggest and most powerful god is the sea god, and he controls the sea. He's powerful because of the sea, and the sea is powerful because of him, I'm pretty sure was the line. And so anyway, their village has been, for years and years and years, has been sacrificing one woman to the sea every so often, to the sea god, to be the sea god's bride. And the idea is eventually they will have sacrificed the right woman to appease the sea god, so that their village won't be in danger by, you know, the sea anymore. It'll calm the sea god. And so in the very first chapter this all happens. The inciting incident is like wicked fast in this book. So in the very first chapter, there's this beautiful, gorgeous, the most bestest looking lady in all the land, who is going to be sacrificed to the sea god, and her destiny has been set basically since she was 12 because she's so pretty. And so they were going to sacrifice her, but our main character, Minna, is her brother June is in love with this woman, and so he wanted to prevent it. Doesn't matter, the point is Minna ends up sacrificing herself willingly to the sea, to be the sea god's bride, in this other girl's place, to save her brother from having to deal with the pain of losing this woman he loves. Now he lost his sister. Feel like the pain it's fine. Anyway, she does that, and the sacrifice is accepted, and she's taken beneath the sea, and now she's in this spirit world. And I have to tell you, I am so in love with this book because it's so atmospheric, because the spirit world is so immersive. I feel like I'm there, but also it's really important to me that you know that I feel like I've stepped inside a Studio Ghibli film. Specifically, I feel like I've stepped inside Spirited Away. The way the spirit realm is, and I know that like this concept and this myth and this lore and this spirit realm and the way it functions, like this is not Spirited Away exclusive, but the way this feels, I feel like I'm in a Studio Ghibli film, and that is a really high praise. So anyway, she's in this world where it's very abstract and it's very odd, and the spirits show up in different forms, and there's a lot of, it almost feels nonsensical yet intentional. Like there's these things that happen, which I really don't want to go into because I feel like just experiencing the spirit world is a massive part of what's made me love this book. So I really just don't want to talk about it very much here, because I don't want to like ruin that opportunity for you. But there's so many just very odd things that are happening, but that feel like, yes, that makes sense. Like in a Studio Ghibli film where it's like, I don't really understand what the logic is to this, but that's okay because this is just how it is here. Do you know what I mean? And I love it. I love it. So the sea god he's under this enchantment, and that's actually why the sea has been raging and has been so dangerous for this village for so long, is because of this enchantment that he's under. And so Minna is going to try to wake him from his enchantment, and you know, she's finding people along the way who may help her, may be an obstacle to her. And I love it. I already have some really major predictions. I actually had some really major predictions just reading the description of the book, and as I'm reading more, I'm like, absolutely, that's what that is, that's what that is, that's what that is. So we'll see if any of it is true. I make a lot of lofty predictions early on in books a lot, and I'm not always right. But I'm just loving the experience. I love the way this book feels, and I'm excited to keep reading. I love it. I have also been reading more Hunter x Hunter, so timestamped in the description if you're not one of my Hunter x Hunter people, because I'm going to talk about that now. I'm in the chairman election arc, so timestamps. Jump to the interlude if you don't want it. But I've started the chairman arc, and man, I thought we were getting like a battle royale. People were gonna fight to be the next chairman, or some sort of like task quiz, maybe something like the Hunter x Hunter arc where they have to go through these, you know, these obstacles to prove their worth. And it's just like, now we're gonna vote. And when that doesn't work, we're gonna vote again. And when that doesn't work, we'll vote again. It's like, it's decidedly not interesting. Yet, on the side, we have this thing with Killua and his family that I'm so into. I'm so happy that we're spending more time with his family because I really just don't know them very well, and every time they appear, I'm so fascinated. They're such interesting characters, and their family dynamic is so fascinating too because they're so tight-knit yet so abusive and controlling and manipulative. And like, they do care for each other, but in this very toxic and unhealthy way. So anyway, Killua, now we have this addition of his sister, and Killua, all these rules around how his sister's abilities work, and Killua's the only one that understands them on the level that he does because of, basically because he cares enough to ask her questions, and she just answers those questions, and everybody else views her as a thing, but Killua views her as a person. And oh my goodness, I'm not very far. I can't even tell you what chapter I'm on. I'm pretty sure I'm on 265. Nah, that's wrong. 235. It doesn't matter. I don't know where I am, but I'm reading it slowly because, you know, I'm on vacation, so I'm not reading as much because I'm doing a lot of family time, but I'm enjoying it so much. There's just, it's like, it's horror movie stuff with Killua and his family, and I'm so into it. So that's the clip. That's the update. I will check in with you again before the vlog ends. I've started the ship who sang, but I just don't have much to say about it, so maybe we'll talk about that in the next one. Enjoy the sound of the cicadas lulling you to sleep while we talk about some books. I have read some books. Alright, I'm about 90 pages into The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea, and I still love it. It's doing stuff that I wasn't expecting. It seemed like there was a big emphasis in the beginning on the curse that's on the sea god that's causing him to be asleep, which is causing the seas to act unruly. So here I am thinking, cool, we get a plot about an intricate curse and a character who's trying really, really hard to break that curse. And maybe we'll get there eventually, but instead she's been really focused on her own agendas. And she's just been doing her own thing. Her own thing within the spirit world still, but you know, her own thing. I'm still loving it. The spirit world is fantastic. The characters we're being introduced to are fantastic. It's just very, I just really want to rewatch Spirited Away and Howl's Moving Castle. So I'm gonna do that. I've started The Ship Who Sang, and I don't have a lot to say about it. I'm on the second chapter, which these chapters are crazy long, so I am on page 58. So the concept, which I've only just now noticed, that this book cover has a little kid's face like superimposed on that ship. So the concept is that these characters end up having their consciousness superimposed in a ship, in a spaceship, and her mentality on it is like, boy, sucks to be you, you're human, you're so limited, I get to fly through space. So like, it's not, I don't know, it's weird. But anyway, she sings, and she's a unique ship, and not a lot interesting has happened. I think the humor is really good. I think the writing is really dry. I'm not really into it at this point, but I'm trying to push through. It's kind of hard for me to read this when I have this that I could be reading, so I'm moving through this pretty slowly, even though it's not like a difficult book to read. I'm just not that interested in it. So if you've read it, maybe offer up some motivation, because I could use it. I was hoping I'd have more to say to you in this clip than I did in the last clip about The Ship Who Sang, but I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't read a single page since then because I've been really into the other one. I did end up reading one scene. Oh, I didn't, shucks. I don't have the ability to read that part of the scene to you because I read it. I have the ebook as well as the physical book, and I was reading that scene on so I don't have it underlined in the physical. But it was the scene, spoilers. I really wanted, you know what? Okay, don't skip. There's nothing to have you skip for, because I really want to read part of that scene to you because it was brilliant. So, since I can't find it really quickly in the book, I'm just going to save it and talk to you about it next week when I can pull it up and have a proper discussion with you about it, because it was a really fantastic scene and I don't want to summarize it. I want to really go into it. But anyway, I am, you know, still reading a little bit of this. I also started Fruits Basket. I've only read the first chapter and I don't love the art style or even like it. I know it's very stylistic with the giant, huge, massive eyes and very like plain, which I mean Hunter x Hunter is very simplistic too, but I just don't like Fruits Basket's art style. But that's not going to make me not read it. I've been looking forward to reading this for a long time, even though I know nothing about it. Just some other people that I follow really, really like it. So I would like to like it too. But I am struggling to get into it. But it's only been a chapter, so I'll give it more time. But anyway, hey, that was a quick clip. Good for me, not being super wordy. Actually, let me just read you a couple of quotes of this since this clip didn't take that long. My eldest brother says trust is earned, that to give someone your trust is to give them a knife to wound you. But June would counter that trust is faith, that to trust someone is to believe in the goodness of people and in the world that shapes them. There's a lot of quotes like that that I just think are very, very pretty, and I can easily kind of relate it to my own life. Like, trusting someone is like giving them a knife to harm you, which is really true. And then to trust someone is to have faith that the goodness in them would mean that they wouldn't harm me with it. And I just think that's really beautiful. And there's a lot of just lines in here like that where it's just I really like writing like that, that's kind of thoughtful and not just telling the story, but also has something to say even within the little pieces of the story. I'm just really enjoying this book. Anyway, I'm gonna go inside. These are the books that I'm actively reading. I finished The Daughter of the Moon Goddess, and I'm still actively reading Hunter x Hunter as well, and I will be starting Fruits Basket, or I have started it, but I will be getting further into it. So there's that. Be sure to chat with me more in the comments about these things. I post videos every Thursday, and soon I will start posting videos on Tuesdays on this channel as well. See you again soon. Bye.